I'm about to walk you through the best strategy for starting and scaling your AI business in 2025. And the very first thing we have to analyze is what is the current state of the market. And the truth is, within this current state of the market, it has never been as hard as it is now to start your own business online. And there's a few reasons why. The first reason is we are currently in a trust recession. This basically means that the trust levels have never been as low as they currently are. The reason for that is because there's so many marketers, so many people online making false promises that they cannot fulfill on. So 9 out of 10 times, when you hop on a call with a prospect, they've already worked with some sort of agency or some sort of program in the past, and they've probably been burnt before. Okay, so nobody trusts anyone anymore. It's harder to build trust with your prospects. The second reason is the markets are more sophisticated than they have ever been before. This basically means that they're more educated, and it's harder to implement certain marketing tactics and strategies because they know what you're doing. They've been sold to, they've been marketed to, these past few years, and they're used to it, and so it's harder to stand out, and it's harder to position yourself in a unique way, so that way you can separate yourself from everyone else. And the last reason is it is highly competitive. The barrier to entry to starting a business in 2025 has never been as low as it currently is, and so that creates a ton of competition. It creates a cesspool of people, everyone looking the same, and so you need to separate yourself somehow. And the main way you separate yourself from the competition is to go into higher barrier opportunities. So opportunities that take more upfront effort to get into, but that way it's going to be easier to win in the long run because less people are going to want to partake in those higher barrier opportunities. Okay, and so these are the main three factors as to why it is so much harder to win in 2025 opposed to the previous years. But it's not impossible to win. It just means it's harder. And so how do you mitigate this, and how do you win and succeed in 2025? Well, you need to build your personal brand. And how do you build your personal brand? You simply create valuable content that solves the pain points of your market. Okay, and so you do not want to be seen as a marketer trying to sell someone. You want to be seen as an authority figure trying to help someone, and it creates the world's difference, and that is how you succeed in 2025. But then we run into another problem, and this problem is called the niche content dilemma. Okay, and basically, which market should you target and create content for? And to answer that question, we have to separate what makes a certain market good and what makes a certain market bad. And so what is a good market? You want to make sure that the market is growing and not dying. You want to make sure that these people are easy to find online. You want to make sure that there's at least 50,000 businesses, ideally within the US. You want to make sure that these people can actually afford what you're selling, that they're actually making money, that they aren't broke. You want to make sure that, in the beginning, yes, different markets have different competition levels. And in the beginning, when you don't have as much credibility and you don't have as much resources to allocate towards your marketing and towards your business, you want to go into the least competitive markets. Okay, and then you also want to make sure that you can predictably deliver results, and those are the factors of a good market. Now, what makes a specific market bad? Well, it's basically the complete opposite of what makes markets good. 1, if the market is dying. 2, if they're hard to find online. 3, if there's less than 50,000 total addressable market, less than 50,000 businesses in the US. And the last and most important factor, if they're broke, if they can't afford what you're selling. And so you want to sell to the markets that fit within these characteristics and avoid these markets at all costs. And the truth is that brick and mortar businesses are by far the best ones to target in the beginning. Why? It's because of 3 main reasons. The first reason is that they have the most money. These are businesses that provide a real tangible service, provide real value to the marketplace. And they probably allocate a specific budget towards marketing that they're willing to invest, test out, maybe even lose in order to acquire customers profitably. And the second factor is that these are the least sophisticated businesses, especially when you're hopping on the owners of these businesses. They're not too worried about how to learn Facebook ads, how to learn SEO, how to create a good copy, how to create good creatives. They're worried about providing a real tangible service, real value, fulfilling on the promises they've made for their customers, so that way they can retain their business and keep their business alive. And the last factor is it's the least competitive. The truth is that most people who start an online agency or an online service business, they want to target the sexy markets like online coaches, agencies, service providers. The reason is because they want the status that's associated with targeting those markets. But if you don't care about the status in the beginning and you want to make money ASAP, then target brick and mortar businesses, because some people people don't want to be seen targeting brick and mortar businesses for some reason. But those are the 3 main reasons why brick and mortar businesses are by far the best ones to target in the beginning. And so what are the 2 types of brick and mortar businesses that you can target? It's home remodeling and service providers. And what's the difference? When it comes to home remodeling businesses, these are service providers like roofers, HVAC, landscapers, plumbers, general remodeling businesses, people that work on houses, residential, commercial buildings, that install services towards homeowners. Okay. And the second type is service providers. This is a little more broad, but this is people like chiropractors, dentists, law firms, realtors, accountants, med spa, people who are providing a tangible service to the market. Okay, so these are both great categories, but which one should you choose in the beginning? In my opinion, if you're starting completely from zero with no credibility, I'd recommend home remodeling. Why? Because when it comes to how much money they make, they're either on par or they make more than the service providers. But the main thing here is that the sophistication levels and the competition levels within these markets is typically lower. Okay, but either or is great. The main thing is that you choose a market, you stick to it, and you get straight to marketing and selling to them. And so what is the best marketing strategy? Well, you need to have a long-term and a short-term strategy. Why? Because whatever makes you money in the short term, whatever makes you money quickly, probably won't make you the most amount of money long-term. Whatever makes you the most amount of money long-term probably won't happen for a while, so you need to make money in the short term. And so you need to have both. And so when it comes to the long-term strategy, the goal here is to make lots of money over a longer period of time, long-term. And what's going to help you do that? It's content. Like I mentioned in the beginning, it's building your personal brand, which is absolutely crucial, especially now in 2025. And what is a short-term strategy? Making money quickly as soon as possible so the business can stay alive and so that way it has oxygen. Well, it's ads. Ads is the quickest way to get your first client and scale up quickly. Okay. And so when it comes to both of these strategies, you need to be very conscious and you need to have lots of clarity on exactly who you're targeting and what's your messaging going to be for which person, which segment of the market, your ICP, your avatar, all that stuff. Okay, and so I'm going to break down individually how to do that for each component of the long-term strategy and the short-term strategy. And so when it comes to ads, to answer this question, we need to look at something called the larger market formula. What is the larger market formula? Basically, it's a pyramid, and this pyramid represents a whole market, a niche, whatever you want to call it. And basically what it says is that within any given market, 3% of the market is in buy now mode. They're ready to buy right now. They have a painful problem that they need solved, and they're looking to buy something to solve that problem. 17% of the market is in information gathering mode, 20% of the market is problem aware, and 60% of the market is not problem aware. Okay, and so when you're running ads, you need to be very conscious of who exactly, which segment of the market are you is your messaging going to resonate with. And what I'd recommend is that in the beginning, if you need to make money quickly, you need to get access to capital quickly, I highly recommend you target the top 3% of the market that's in buy now mode. And how do you do this? You do this with direct response marketing, putting up a clear ad, running ads that has a clear offer, a clear guarantee, and simply taking them straight to your calendar, booking a call with them, and selling them on that call, presenting your solution to their problem that they have, because they're in the most pain right now, and they're looking for a solution to the problem that they have. And within these other components of the market, the 17% information gathering mode, the problem aware, and the not problem aware segment, yes, you can convert them, but it's going to take longer. And in the beginning, to keep your business afloat, you need money ASAP, and the quickest way to make money is to target the people who are in the most pain. And this is the most competitive segment of the market, and that's why it is not the most sustainable segment to be targeting, long term. And that is exactly why we have a long-term strategy. And so when it comes to a long-term strategy, what should be your content strategy going forward, so that way you can actually build an audience, build trust with them, and convert them down the line. There's two separate ways you can go about this when it comes to creating your content and growing your personal brand. The first way is you document your own journey and you show exactly how you're going about scaling your business and going through your journey of starting and scaling and growing a business and going from zero to hero. And the second way is you provide value to the current market, and so that way you can build trust with that market and you can sell them on your current service or offer. Okay, and here's the differences with both of these strategies. So when it comes to documenting your own journey, your goal is to become an authority figure. And the way you're doing this is by leveraging your own results and showing that the people, that your audience can do exactly what you've done for yourself. Okay, and so what are you going to sell them eventually? Your goal is to sell them on a coaching, consulting, or some sort of course so that way they can replicate the results that you've gotten for yourself. Okay, so you're documenting your journey of you starting this business, growing this business, and then eventually teaching people how to do the same exact thing that you've done for yourself. And so what does a product roadmap look like for this type of business? We're going to have two main offers. The first offer is your done-for-you service, and the second offer is your coaching program. Okay, and the way this works is that for your done-for-you service, the main way you're going to be acquiring clients is through ads. Okay, ads that target local brick-and-mortar businesses, like we've identified in the beginning, choosing a good market that's easier for you to book calls at a cheaper cost and acquire clients at a cheaper cost in the beginning. And the goal with this is to eventually niche out once your personal brand has grown large enough to the point where you're an authority figure within any given market. People know who you are, your name has some weight to it, and so that way you can niche out and implement done for you services for your audience and not just relying on ads. And so your second offer within this product roadmap is your coaching program. And the main way you're acquiring clients for your coaching program is through your content. Like I said, you're documenting your journey with content, and you're showing people exactly how you're starting and you're scaling your own business, and that way these people can replicate the results that you've gotten for yourself. And so the main way you acquire clients is through your content. Ideally, you want to be driving the traffic from your content into some sort of ecosystem, whether that's an email list, ideally a community, so that way you can provide more personalized value, nurture them, and eventually convert them down the line. But the truth is, this strategy is tougher in the beginning, but it will scale faster once it is validated. And to basically summarize it, when it comes to this strategy of you documenting your journey, how it works is you have your done for you program, which you're targeting brick and mortar businesses, and the main way you're getting clients for this done for you program is through ads. And then you have your content, your personal brand, which is you're documenting how exactly, what are you doing to acquire these customers, how are you running your ads, how are you running your business, so that way down the line, once you've had some success yourself through this done for you program, you can start a coaching program or some sort of mentorship, so that way you can sell people on the outcome of them replicating the same results that you've gotten for yourself. Okay, and so that's this first path you can go down, basically acquiring clients with the ads for your done for you program and building your personal brand on the back end. And the second path you can go down is you provide value to the current market. Okay, and what does that look like? You become, once again, the goal is to become an authority figure, and that way the way you do this is through leveraging client results, not your own results. The main offer you're marketing to your audience is your actual done for you service. Okay, and what is our product roadmap? In this instance, you only have one offer, which is your done for you service. You don't have a coaching program. You're fully focused on your one done for you service. And the way you acquire clients for this done for you service is through content and ads. Okay, so you're going full steam ahead on your done for you service offer. You're not, documenting your journey and showing how you're growing your done for you service business. You're actually selling your done for you service to your audience. And then down the line, the goal is to scale and add more offers. Once you have a big audience, you have people who can afford lower price points, people who can afford higher price points. So you have a price point for everyone that each person can afford. And the thing with this business, with this strategy, is that it's easier to validate, but it's slower to scale. Okay, and so what you're doing is you're providing value to the brick and mortar market that you've chosen, and you're creating content and you're running ads for them. So you're going full steam ahead. And the thing with this is you will make more money in the beginning, but it is a bit slower to scale because you're not going mass market like you're going with this strategy. And so this is the main dilemma that people face in the beginning, is they choose a brick and mortar business to target, but they don't know if they should create content for that brick and mortar business because they have doubts like, oh, I don't know if my niche will actually watch my videos. I want to grow a large personal brand, and these are the main two options you have: either document your journey and grow your personal brand on the back end, or provide value to your current market and go full steam ahead with your current offer and scale that up. Okay, and they're both equally good. They both have their own pros and cons, and so this is something for you to choose. But other than that, these are the best strategies currently in 2025 to start and scale your AI service business. AI is advancing at a pace like nothing ever before, and you need to hop on the train before it passes. And so first link in my description is my completely free AI scaling specialist school community. We have hundreds of entrepreneurs in there, all looking to sell AI infrastructures. If you want to go in there and network and learn exactly how we're scaling AI infrastructure offers for upwards of 10 grand per package, then go ahead and join that community completely for free. We're always giving out insights in there, and I'll see you on the inside. Bye.